Okay, if you're watching this, you've either accidentally found me on YouTube while searching for meerkats, or more likely you're one of a small group of people who are helping me beta test the next volume 2. You're going to help me change the world for the better. Hopefully. Welcome to the beta team. Firstly, a very big welcome and thank you. This is not a small favor that I'm asking of you. I recognize that. And here's another not small favor I need to ask as well. Would you please consider liking this video and subscribing to the YouTube channel? The subscribing is the most important part. YouTube unlocks some really cool things for us in terms of marketing. These features open up when we hit 1,000 subscribers, and if we can get there before the books launch, it's going to make a huge difference in what we're doing right now. It's going to reach a lot more people. So I'm going to pause right now for a moment while you do both of those, and I'll come right back. Yeah. All right, pause. Pause and go do it. Please. I hate this. I hate asking people to help me this way, but I've seen so many other YouTubers do this. Oh, God, I can't believe I'm finally doing it myself. It's disgusting. But please, like and subscribe. All right, let's dive in. Let's dive into the actual tutorial. So, how do I beta? There's two crucial ways in which it will help me do the beta testing. The number one, both of them were feedback, but the first type of feedback is called comments, and the second type of feedback is responses. Let me show you on my screen so we can see exactly what each of those is and how easy each of those is. So disregard for a second that this username is Mickey11. I love Mickey, so much so that I've already used 10 Mickeys as beta testers. That's why we're on number 11 right now. All right, so if Mickey spots a misspelling or confusing statement, if Mickey11 does, and he wants to leave me a comment about it, what does Mickey11 do? He clicks and highlights on those words, and then Mickey11 gets excited because a little pop-up button comes up. So he clicks that again, and now Mickey11 can send Rene his complaint. You stupid bastard! You know Pluto's not spelled like that. Pluto? How foolish! And Pluto's not a planet anymore. He's just my dog. And just like that, Mickey11 has been able to bust my balls. And you too can follow these simple steps from your comfort of your own home to bust my balls. Bust my balls in your PJs. I'm still going to say thank you. Responses are much simpler though. Let's take a look at those now. All you need to do is answer the questions at the bottom of each piece of content after reading it. So check it out. How would you rate this chapter? 0 stars, but that's not possible, so 1, I guess. How eager are you to read the next chapter? No, 1 heart, and that's generous. Feedback, scanning your general guidance, nope. Scanning your chapter-specific guidance, yep. I will not be vacationing to Pluto with you. So those are the basics, but if for some reason you want to understand more, I've linked to the StoryOrigin tutorial where the CEO explains the entire beta process between us in the description below. The part on the comments versus responses, that we just went over right now with Mickey11, with that example, that happens between about minute 9:50 and 13:12. So it's about 3 minutes of video time if you want to check that out. And again, the link is below and it goes directly to that start time frame. All right, so what is Rene looking for? Specifically, I'm looking for any of the questions that I've specifically asked, either at the end of or in between any of the chapters or the sections of the book that you read, like we saw on the previous Mickey11 example. Generally, though, some things to potentially include in any of our responses, any of the critiques you give me, is did anything confuse you? Did any sections or scenes bore you? That's kind of important. I hope not, but let me know. Did any words or phrases get repeated too often, which leads to boredom? Let me know about those. And also keep in mind the following when you're doing your critiques. Keep in mind who the target audience is. I spelled that out. The call to action, the ebook versus the upcoming interactive album. So those two pieces, keep those in mind. And then also the season's roadmap that I'll spell out later on as to how I'm planning on launching the different formats of this book. I'll be calling each of these out in great detail during the launch chapter, and it would help me tremendously if you can keep these in mind when considering your feedback. And I know it's a lot to consider, so if you feel overwhelmed by this, I'm right there with you. It's just that there's so much to cover in this project, and the many versions of this book that are going to be coming out, it's going to be covering a time span of about 30 years. So that's a lot of time. That's a lot to try to do. So this first chapter launch, that puppy, it really needs to be very meticulous to set the proper stage and make it as simple and as relatable with the language as possible so that I can achieve these very important things. I want to be able to bring the reader in. Very important. I want to not alienate them unless I want to, right? If it's not my target audience, I want to spell it out immediately so that the person knows, hey, I'm out of here. I'm not going to read the rest. It's not for me. I want to be able to do both of those. I want to be able to be extremely honest about this epic journey that we're about to go on, should the reader or viewer decide to continue, right? I want them to know exactly what's about to happen before they get sucked into it. All right, so what's Rene not looking for? Outside of the actual errors that you might find, grammar, spelling, all that kind of stuff, I really only want your gut level reactions to things, to the content, to the questions that are asked. So specifically, what does that mean? Specifically, don't go out of your way to find problems, right? Just enjoy reading it until it becomes unenjoyable. And then and only then, tell me why that happened. Then I want to know. Also, please use the comment bubbles for any direct references to words or phrases that you find confusing. Don't use the end of chapter areas to give me a huge digest of everything that went wrong. That's super inefficient. And if you do that, Mickey 11's going to have to go all the way back through and scan everything over and over again every time you make a direct reference to find out exactly what the heck you're talking about. You don't want to piss off Mickey 11. He's already pissed off, so please keep Mickey 11 in mind. All right, so what are the expectations of my time? Well, actually, I'm writing it about you here as what's the expectations of your time. About 6 to 8 hours of reading total this month. And as long as you want to spend on the feedback, now, keeping in mind what I said about the gut level reactions though, right? So don't actively look for problems, but hey, if you want to spend as much time as you want to spend on the responses, they're all going to help. So that's up to you. But the reading time is about 6 to 8. Now, what are the expectations of Rene's time? Now, this one's about me. I'll probably be limiting my check-ins to only one time every Friday during the beta test period. And these will probably only be through the StoryOrigin platform. The reason for this, reasons, plural, is varied in many boring details, but basically just know that there are very many items that are demanding a lot of my attention so that we can successfully hit the publication date, which at this point, I'm trying to hit Halloween, October 31st. Yeah, there's a lot of symbolic reasons for this that are tied directly to the manuscript that you're helping me on, so thank you for that. This is super exciting and a lot of many positive implications for our futures. So thanks for overlapping your future with mine there. All that being said, you can further help me out by keeping all your beta review level thoughts. Keep that on the StoryOrigin platform for me. If you send me an email, if you try to reach out to any other platform and send me things, you're just creating more work for me, and so don't, please. I'm going to be ignoring you there anyways, so it could be a waste of time for everybody. But I want to be fair at the same time because, I don't want to treat you as unpaid beta testers. God knows I've been in that boat too many times. It would be very hypocritical of me to not keep that in mind. A lot of my life has disappeared on being an uninformed, unpaid beta tester. So I don't want to do that to you guys. So I want to reconnect with everybody in person sometime towards the end of our beta. Not sure exactly what that looks like yet. Maybe some kind of a Zoom call where we can be face-to-face, but, at least I can thank you in person and stick around, answer any questions, post-beta questions that you might have about what's going on. And last question, any caveats? Yeah, actually, and thanks for asking. So just know that in this beta period, there's a lot of formatting stuff that's not possible, which I'm not too excited about that. But things that are going to be missing are images. I can't put those in this beta platform for some reason. Background colors, can't use those. Document headers, those are super important and I can't include those. And any headers or headings, as opposed to document headers, now this is actually a table of contents type headers. I can't go any deeper than 2 nested levels. So I'll show you really quickly my screen here. Take a look at this. This is what the actual launch in just the very beginning of the first or the second chapter, stage 0, is supposed to look like as it relates to a full table of contents. So obviously I got to figure out all these little limitations when it comes to the ebook that's going to be published. But for now, this may be a reason why we end up having to skip phase 2 of the beta. I've divided it into 2 phases, and the first phase is just going to go all the way up to stage 0, the very beginning of stage 0. But in the rest of the book, it relies heavily on all these formatting issues that I've just described. So if that happens, we may have to cut the beta short. But if we do skip it, it's going to be available in the advanced release copy, which is the next team, the ARC team, advanced release copy team. So please consider jumping in on that, because at that point, I'll have all of these things figured out inside an actual ebook format, which you're not going to be looking at online the way you're doing right now. You'll be able to actually download it to your Kindle or whatever device you have, and then we'll be able to actually take a look at all these multimedia pieces that are going to be missing for the beta. So, actually, I was wrong. We have one more thing to consider. So, will all my feedback be considered? Yes, but not all of it will be used, at least not at first. I'm keeping the beta and the ARC team review timelines purposefully very, very, very tight to increase the chances of hitting our Halloween publish date. So depending on how involved, how timely or critical your feedback is, if it doesn't make it into this edition, it might be folded into the next one. But none of it will be wasted. I can guarantee that. I'll keep everything so I can reference it in the future as time allows. But, I just wanted to be fair. I wanted to warn you about that up front so that we have some clear expectations on this. So blind spots. So again, not everything's going to be built into this. Not all of your suggestions are going to make it, but suggest anyways, because I'm hoping you'll uncover my blind spots. I know I have them. I might initially feel like something you suggest doesn't quite fit the agenda that I have, or it doesn't fit the who and the why that I have, the call to action, or the long-term roadmap that I currently have in mind, but that doesn't mean that I can't be influenced by your feedback. It doesn't mean that I can't be influenced to change directions. That's quite possible. I'm looking for your feedback so that I can consider whether I need to change directions in any of what I'm currently thinking. So any of my roadmap aspects that might be too grandiose potentially. So let me know. This is very near and dear to my stomach, to my heart. And because of that, it's even more so the reason why I need your feedback. Because when you're as close to a topic as I am with this one, yeah, obviously you're going to be more prone to being blindsided by things. So it's very easy for me to miss something that's important because I'm too close to it. And I don't want to miss anything that's important. So if there's anything that seems obvious to you, that stands out, that maybe I'm overlooking, I'm not considering, that you feel at some point it's going to become a very big problem for my vision and the people that I'm trying to help with this, shout about that, please. I mean, not all caps, but, suggest, let me know. I definitely want to hear about these things. But on a similar vein, dialogue-centric, let me also describe a situation where the chances of me using your feedback are going to be a little less. Okay, so my creative writing style is dialogue-centric. And what this means is that personality is what I'm going for, not perfection. Imperfection is more relatable. And so if any of what you read comes across as something that sounds less like a polished novel and more like imperfect language, then that's great. That's what I'm after. If it feels more like I'm talking to you, that's what I'm also after. So definitely want more personality to shine through. I don't want it to be devoid of personality. I don't want it to feel too clinical, too sterile of imperfection, none of that. It sounds more like we're talking and less like you're reading something, then bingo. That is what I want. Now again, this doesn't mean shut up. I'm not telling you not to throw things at me that sound weird or awkward to you, but just know that there's a chance some of those might have been done on purpose. Thank you. All right, all right, all right. That's it for now. And once again, thank you.